I don't know, Sonny. What exactly are we doing here?
Let's hope we can learn something about Natasha and Ibn by sniffing around before we visit that weekend house in Flowerville.
Learn something? From Phyllis and Roy's?
Well, I wasn't exactly thinking about them.
Yeah, figures.
How's it going tonight, boys?
Uneventful so far, Sonny. But now that you're rolling together again, I suppose we'll have some excitement to look forward to.
What do you mean?
Are you kidding? Last time you shot up a theater, and, if I remember correctly, each other.
That was a complicated evening.
Sure. Complicated.
You still remember Philmar?
Do you mean Philip? Of course I remember. He's got quite the reputation with that Philmar alias.
We just met him. Small world, huh? Do you know what he's up to these days?
Yeah, as far as I know, he's investigating petty blackmail cases and sneaking after poor bastards cheating on their wives.
Anything else? Did he get mixed up in something that stirred up a storm recently?
Yeah, I don't know about that. We haven't seen him at the PD for a while. He's usually a frequent visitor. Why? Did he run into some fishy business again?
Possible, Bosco. But I'm not sure he'd want to make the same mistake.
Wise decision.
Listen, Bosco, what do you make of this list?
Maybe it's the guest list of some fancy ball. These are some rather influential names, the ones I recognize anyway. Movie stars, politicians, a few names from the Council of 12 even, if I'm not mistaken.
You're not.
Are you blackmailing them? Because if you are, I'll gladly accept a nice big juicy bone in exchange for my silence.
Stop screwing around, Bosco. It has nothing to do with our case.
Which is what, exactly?
We're still not gonna tell you.
Listen, Bosco, what have you heard about that singer, Natasha Kitsenko?
You mean that little bimbo fooling around with Ibn Wessler? They say she's the jackpot, but I've never been into cats, you know.
You couldn't be more racist if you tried, Bosco.
Don't misunderstand me. I don't have a problem with cats at all. I'm simply allergic to them. I can't stand being around them. I don't even take cases with cats.
Good for you. I should have used that excuse myself.
Why? Is your investigation related to her?
What? No, of course not. We just came from her show. That's why I asked.
And what's she like?
Well, I guess your cat allergy would go away for the rest of your life if you met her.
Really? Maybe I'll have a go and see for myself one day.
Miss Jardine, one of the 7 female officers of the Clawville PD. Officer Barkman, unwavering cop and a slavering beast.
Blood boils in there, and I don't want to run into him.
I wholeheartedly agree, partner. Let's avoid the whole office section as much as possible. Guess who we met today in person, Mon?
King Hector III?
Even better, the one who commands the king.
Wait a minute. Hobart Wessler?
Damn right. Hobart Ibn Wessler in the flesh.
Wow. And you're still alive. That's quite an accomplishment.
But seriously, have you heard that he wants to get out of the black market business? Allegedly, he's trying to clear his name with some kind of new meat substitute.
His name's gonna be rather difficult to clear.
It's a heroic and impossible venture.
I haven't heard about it, but it's an interesting addition to what I know.
Which is?
Ibn's been acting very strange lately, and he left most of his business dealings to one of his goons, Mickey. also known as the Butcher, the Mongrel, and the Slayer.
Yeah, we once had the pleasure of meeting him.
That's all I know, boys. I know it's not very much, but it's something, I guess. I'll keep my ears open.
Thanks, Mon. Listen, Mon, a reliable old friend shoved this into my hand. Could you take a quick glance at it?
Quite an imposing list. What could those numbers mean? It could be a date even, but no, this is something else.
That's what we were thinking too, and we got nowhere. But you see a lot of documents. So, is there anything familiar about this?
Unfortunately not, boys. The names are imposing indeed, but based on this, it could be almost anything. The richest of the rich get together on all kinds of excuses.
Huh, it must be a secret cult.
It could be, of course, but also anything else. I'm sorry I couldn't help you more.
Ah, don't mention it, Mon. Thanks for your time.
Or, wait a minute. There is something.
Oh, stop teasing us, Mon.
I'm sure you've noticed that all the names in the list are men, right?
Yeah, of course we noticed.
Thanks for the observation, Monica.
Don't mention it. I'm just a receptionist.
We saw a pretty good show at the Tsar Club tonight.
Good for you, I guess. Natasha?
Natasha. She performed a new song. She also sang about why she called us there. Or rather, me.
And?
That's confidential, Dollface. Anyway, I can't help wondering about that woman. Her past is a mystery, and I couldn't draw much out of her in person either.
Women like her always have something to hide, Sonny. I think that's exactly what makes men fall head over heels for them.
I know another broad who's all mysterious.
Oh yeah? What's her name? I'll look her up if we have a file on her.
Marty, shut up.
Oh, you mean me, right?
All mysterious, full of secrets, and grace.
I didn't even hear that, Marty.
Do we have a file on a woman called Olivia Blackwig? She's currently working as Ibn Wessler's assistant.
We don't have a file on her, but there are a few Blackwigs that could be related to her. Mountain goat, crow, or caiman?
Crow, around 30 to 35. A very pretty socialite.
Maybe we have a catch then. Theodore Blackwig was a rather influential banker until he went bankrupt. He died a few years back, but his daughter could have ended up in the same social circles as Ibn.
And since they lost their money, she took a job as his assistant.
Yeah, it would fit the picture. But it's a big city, Sonny. There may be more than one Crow family with a Blackwig name living here.
Thanks, Mon.
I'm glad I could help, boys, as always. If it doesn't take a lot of my time, that is.
We know. We're not even here anymore.
Is that rag you work for still around, Tim?
You mean the most read and highest ranking newspaper of the city, the Clawville Chronicle?
Oh, yeah, that's what it's called.
I see that you still have your famous sense of humor, Sonny. Such a joy.
Yeah, I do.
So, how about you tell me what you're really doing here?
Not a chance, Timbo. The truth is, we're already leaving.
Sorry, pal. Maybe next time.
So, how...
Not sorry, pal.
So, out with it. Stop winding me up. I'm almost consumed by all this excitement.
We've just come from the Tsar Club, Zip. Who do you think we met?
If I can guess one, I'd say, was it His Majesty Hobart Ibn Wessler, the rat prime himself?
That on, pal.
What a surprise. So, what do you want to know? Just because I don't know anything.
Of course you don't. Just a couple questions.
Go on, boys. Hurry up, will you?
Everything all right, old man?
If there's something we can do for you, just say so, okay?
Well, all right.
It may not be a good time to say this, but I've got a bad feeling about tonight.
You could have told me about that sooner, Sonny.
You can still turn back. Stay here and keep wasting ammo.
Like hell. Whatever insane shit's waiting for us, it's way better than dying of boredom.
Well, I'm sure we won't be bored.
I hope not. Hey, big guy.
Hey, Cox, what's up? Back here so soon? Did you get nostalgic all of a sudden, Sonny?
I'd rather be anywhere else than here, Bosco, but we're sniffing around on a case.
Hoo-hoo. Are you trespassing again?
Who? Us? What are you thinking?
Just an old case. Still open. Not official, but not active either. We're not bothering anyone. You know, old habits die hard.
I know. I'm just messing with you. So, how can I help you?
You wrote that down?
It burned into my mind.
Should we take it?
Hell no, I'll buy you one if you want. This is police business.
Do you mean the real cops? Do you think...
I'm almost certain. My crest is tingling.
Damn it. Well, thank God I have a weapon on me. Or two.
When do you not have one?
Fair point. I really shouldn't be here, you know? It's New Year's Eve. I should be out partying, not dealing with this shit.
Well, it's a little late for that. I told you it was going to be a rough ride.
What you told me was it's gonna take a few hours and it's practically nothing.
And you believed me.
Yeah, I was an idiot.
Here you go. There's nothing else useful in there.
Nice.
Yeah, it really is.
What is this exactly?
A human. Mythical creature. Quite the cult in Iveria. The whole country's full of these statues.
Does it mean anything?
They say humans are the keepers of secrets and the messengers of chaos and destruction.
You don't think...
Let's take a closer look.
Damn, just like in the adventure books. Rich animals are all insane.
You have a point.
You can't be serious. Is this some kind of...
Yeah, it's a riddle, Marty.
But it doesn't make any sense. Why use something as simple as this when a 4-digit number is almost impossible?
An idle whim, or the riddle has a meaning?
Maybe. 4 animals into 4 places. What does it represent?
Think, Marty. Where did we see 4 animals holding something in their hands?
on this poster next to Blood Boil?
Because he hates us, Marty.
Oh, yeah, right. Did you ever notice how much bigger the lion and the fox are than the other animals?
You know, maybe all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
Huh. So that's why our king's a fox and not a sheep or a bird, right?
It's maybe a little late, but you're starting to get it, Detective. Miss Jardine.
Where are the insects, anyway? And the reptiles? Did you ever think about that?
Many times. I think they didn't fit the idyllic image, so they've been left out. Simple as that.
That says a lot about this city.
It says everything, Marty.
Did you know there's a theory that the Foundation War was a hoax? That the reptiles deliberately kept in the background, but in reality, they're the ones controlling the city from the underground even now.
What? Where did you hear that? I'd never heard such sheep shit before.
I read it in Tomorrow's Word. That's a pretty prestigious newspaper.
I wouldn't use that trash to wipe my cloaca, Marty. It'll rot your brain.
Well, at least I read something other than the labels on liquor bottles.
Hey, that was a bit below the belt.
Yep, but true.
You got me.
It's a very beautiful crest.
Yeah, it is. Just like the city. From afar, at least.
It's a very beautiful crest.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hello there. What could this be? Maybe a piece of a painting.
And there's some kind of squiggle on it. The signature of the painter? Yeah, I can't make it out. It's a piece of a painting. Judging by how well it was hidden, I'm sure this is what Natasha wanted to show us.
So a piece of a painting? That's it? And what's that smear on it?
It's too illegible to be a signature. It could be anything.
Well, maybe Natasha can help us. After all, this is what she wanted to show us, isn't it?
Well, that's if we find her. She should be here by now.
True. Well, then what's next? How about we peck around town some more?
We could do that, but I think we should gather what we know and try to figure out where we can go from here. Bourbon in my office.
You know what? After all this, I could use a drink.
Right answer. We had no choice but to continue the investigation where it started. In that shady little apartment I called home. The only lead was the list Fillmore gave us, with all those imposing names on it. But what could it mean? And why did Natasha keep it secret from us? But most importantly, what did all this have to do with Deborah's death? The trail started to get cold, and so did the air outside. There was something unsettling in the black clouds, hiding all the stars. I prayed that they didn't bring an early snowfall. The night was already painful enough.
So, what are we doing here?
Trying to calm down. I'll have a shot.
Sure you will.
And we're trying to put the pieces together, of course. Figure out what's next.
And what is next, Boss Bird?
Let's take a look at what we've learned so far. So, how did this whole case start? threats are meant for Natasha, no doubt about that. But there was something Natasha didn't speak about. Natasha is terrified, and she's in real danger. But she kept this list hidden from us. It seems too important to keep it a secret. But what could we do with this list? I know only one person who moves in circles high enough to know where it's from. Lewis. We must ask him if we want to get out of this dead end. So, the card is, maybe a dead end. The piece of painting, too.
But the list Philmar gave us...
Exactly. Full of those imposing names. And I only know one person who moves in similar circles.
Lamar!
Yes, Marty. It's Lewis. Exactly.
Of course, it's Lewis. But where do we find the Bunny Man?
Well, since he owns this building, I'm hoping he's here. It's worth a call.
You know his number?
By heart. 555-932. I wrote it down in my notebook as well.
Oh, you are a professional, Boss Bird.
Hey, Lewis, sorry to disturb you, again. Could you come over to my place? I have a question for you. It's very important. It's about a case.
A real case? With the chicken police? Of course, Sonny. I'll be over in a few minutes.
Thanks, pal. I owe you one.
One? Just a second.
Thanks, Lewis. Again.
Oh, don't mention it. Besides, it was my big dream to help you with a serious case.
Well, let's hope you can help. What can you tell me about this list, old pal?
Well,
these names. I know half of them personally. Maybe even more.
I knew it.
But I have no idea what kind of list this is.
here we go.
But these are all members of the upper class, politicians, business people. Oh my. Even the commander of the Royal Guard.
Damn.
But I really don't know what it means.
So, is it a dead end?
I'm afraid so.
Deborah, the girl who came to me tonight.
Yes, she's a very lovely young lady.
Where did you take her after you two left?
Where she asked me to Flowerville.
Flowerville? Rochester Street 37?
Yes, exactly. Why?
Luck.
Did something happen?
Nothing good, Lewis. Nothing good.
This?
This?
Oh, my goodness.
I think we have a bingo, gentlemen.
You see, I also have one of these.
A card? Like this? Really?
Yes. It's a membership card to a very exclusive club.
How exclusive?
Very.
That's what I'm talking about.
What does SN mean, Lewis?
It's the sweltering Nile.
But that's a...
Well, yes, it's a brothel, but it's not like that. It's something completely different.
Calm down, Lewis. We're not going to tell anybody.
Thank you so much. It is rather embarrassing.
Listen, Lewis, how do we get in?
You want to get in? Well, if you show them this card, they'll surely let you in, but it will be obvious you're not regulars there.
We're used to that.
So, are we going to a luxury brothel?
Correct, Marty. Thanks for the help, Lewis. I owe you one. For the third time today, I think.
I don't know what you said to him, but after you finished, he almost immediately van disappeared.
Really? That's suspicious.
Or he had business elsewhere. It's New Year's Eve. Everybody's going somewhere.
I didn't see her after the show. If I'm not mistaken, she usually leaves when everyone else has already left.
What else do you know about her, Lewis?
Oh, not much. What everybody knows. She was a dancer, then a backing singer, then star, and then club owner.
We found out as much already. Do you think she'd fled the Stavonian massacre? That's why the secrecy.
Do you mean the massacre of the royal family? I'd say her accent is a dead giveaway, and her name too, though it's undoubtedly an alias.
So it's possible that she is a part of the royal family?
I don't think so. Nobody could have survived that awful night.
You're probably right. What should we know about the place, Lewis? Besides what they're dealing in there?
No, it's an elegant and exclusive place. Not everybody visits them for that, you know. Some animals just go for company.
I see. I guess it's mostly visited by the upper class.
Mostly, yes. The wealthy who have a taste.
Yes, of course.
Is it true what they say, that it's some kind of hidden stronghold of the royalists?
The Nile is a proud herald of the coexistence of all the species, yes, but stronghold? I don't think so.
But the place must be an eyesore for the separatists, right?
Oh, don't worry for the girls, Sonny. They can defend themselves quite well. The separatists wouldn't dare to go near the place.
Well, we'll see what they have to say about these two old cocks.
That was a little bit, equivocal.
To Marty's delight, we were heading toward the most exclusive brothel in Clawville. The separatists and those opposing the monarchy hated the place, just like they hated everything that supported interracial relations and peaceful coexistence of all species. So the place wasn't just a brothel, it was a symbol. But just like a brothel is not a worthy symbol, Clawville failed to turn out the way it was intended.
Well, here we are. The kingdom of long legs, silky skin, and fluttering lashes. We've arrived.
Calm down, Marty. Watch your blood pressure.
She's what I call an exotic beauty.
Well, that's one way to put it.
Hey, every animal's the most beautiful thing in the world to someone.
Yeah, you're right.
Oof, I don't know about you, but I go weak in the knees for Stripes.
Please, Marty, I don't want to know. And I don't care. Keep it to yourself. And let's get out of here quickly.
Can't I even talk to you anymore?
You can. Ask about the weather, or how's my lower back. Those two are even connected if you want to know.
Yeah, old fart.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Would you be so kind as to help me?
With pleasure, ma'am.
The zipper always comes down on my dress. Would you kindly zip it back up?
Can I, Sonny?
What am I, your mother? Do what you want, for God's sake.
Happy to help, ma'am.
Oh, what a gallant young man.
Clucking lords.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Marty, ma'am. Marty McChicken.
Thank you, darling Marty. I'm much obliged.
Anytime, ma'am. Anytime.
My name is Day-Night Diamond. Welcome to the Sweltering Nile, gentlemen.
Miss Diamond, I'm Sonny, and this is my partner, Marty.
If I may, miss, you have a beautiful name and exceptionally wonderful stripes.
Marty, not now.
Oh, thank you very much.
Please excuse him. He doesn't visit places like this very often. Me neither, to be honest.
Oh, nothing to worry about, gentlemen. There's a first time for everyone.
You're absolutely right.
We're just interested in a certain lady called Deborah.
Deborah? We don't have any employees by that name right now, but if you want, any of our girls would love to be Deborah for a night.
No. Excuse me, you misunderstand. She doesn't work here.
I'm afraid I don't follow.
It's kind of confusing, but let me try to explain.
Please, I'm at your service. I'll gladly answer any of your questions.
You hear that, Sonny? Any questions?
Shut up, Marty.
I wouldn't want to offend you, far from it, but it's evident you're from the police, even without this.
Is it that obvious?
No, it isn't, but, you know, here in the Nile, we have a keen eye for this kind of thing.
Right. I understand, ma'am. Do you know a gentleman named Louis C. Hayworth?
Of course I do. Mr. Hayworth is a regular guest at our establishment.
I see. How regular, if I may ask?
I can't give you any information about that. House policy.
We have that too. It's called the law, ma'am.
If you have any questions of that nature, please come back with a warrant.
Touche.
Does this list mean anything to you?
This? I'm not sure. No, nothing.
Don't you see some familiar names on there?
I do, but everybody knows those animals. Personally, I have no contact with any of them.
I see. Oh, thank you. Look, she gave this to us. The girl named Deborah, the one we asked you about.
I see.
Do you know what this is?
Of course. It's a membership card.
Was this person a regular here?
If this belonged to her, then yes. I can check for you. Please, the ladies will entertain you while you wait. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Much obliged.
Yeesh. That guy's stare gives me the creeps.
I can see why.
I've always told myself that birds are weird.
What did you just say?
Huh? What? Me? Nothing.
Holy fur. You swallowed so hard, the whole place shook.
Are you kidding me? I've never seen anything like this before. Is this even legal?
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. Vice?
You really must be joking. Vice in Clawville?
Okay, I was pulling her leg. But still, it's a little hot in here.
Oh, cool down, Marty. Don't even look over there. Remember Laura, your wonderful girlfriend, whom you love more than anything.
You don't need to tell me. All I'm thinking about is her.
With a hatchet in her hand.
More like my nuggets.
That's...
Laura.
That's it, Marty. Just slowly turn away from the pictures.
Laura.
That's it, Marty. Just slowly turn away from the pictures. Beauty is relative.
May I invite you gentlemen for a drink, perhaps?
No, thank you. We're in a hurry.
Oh.
I apologize for the wait. Please, come with me, gentlemen.
So you were successful.
My mistress, Madame Zavas, would like to meet you.
You mean that, Madame Zavas?
As far as I know, there's only one of her, so yes.
Please, miss, take us to her.
With pleasure.
Madame Zavas was a legend in Clawville. Her name was known all over the wilderness. She's an avid royalist, former member of the Council of 12, spymaster, assassin, businesswoman, and courtesan. To be honest, I didn't even know she was still alive. She's no spring chicken, that's for sure. She could also be my mother, or maybe my grandmother. First Ibn Wessler, now her. Honestly, tonight it wouldn't surprise me if His Majesty Hector III didn't grace me with his presence. Interesting pieces.
Do you think so? It's the art of my people.
Crocodiles?
There are many kinds of crocodile in the wilderness, Mr. Featherland. This is the art of the Nilenites.
Ah, hence the name, the sweltering Nile.
It's a river, Mr. Featherland. My ancestors lived by this river a long time ago.
Ah, interesting.
Thank you.
Is that the time already?
Have you noticed your clock's not working?
How observant you are. That clock isn't meant to show the time. It's a decoration. A memento.
It's beautiful.
Indeed.
What a painting. Congratulations, ma'am.
Marty.
Yes. It's beautiful indeed. It's more than 40 years old. You know, I was considered pretty then.
Oh, don't say that. You still look great, ma'am.
Thank you. It feels good, but no. There's no need for lies. Those days are long gone. Every age has its truth and its beauty. For me, beauty is not in the looks anymore.
I agree, ma'am.
There are books here on quite a variety of topics. There are books here on quite a variety of topics. There are books here. There are books. There are... Let me introduce myself properly, ma'am.
Mr. Santino, I know who you are. And I also know your partner. The legend of the Chicken Police is always one step ahead of the Chicken Police.
Thank you. That's flattering.
May I ask what you are looking for exactly? Here on this night?
You know, that's an interesting question. The card we've shown your lovely colleague
belongs to an old friend of ours whom we haven't seen for a long time here.
And the name?
Unfortunately, no, Mr. Santino. That's confidential information. In my line of work, discretion is everything.
Well, you know, in our line of work, the law is above everything.
Oh, do you think so? I could tell you what your colleagues think is also above everything, but, as I said, discretion.
Look, ma'am, we don't want to impose. We're conducting a private investigation, which started off as harmless, but now it's murder.
That sounds serious.
It is serious. That's why we'd be grateful for your help.
In that case, I'm at your service. Ask your questions, and I'm going to answer to the best of my knowledge. As long as you're not wading through muddy waters.
Fortunately, I swim very well for a chicken.
I swim well, too. As I was saying, it belongs to us. Only our most valuable guests have one of these. And our employees, of course.
The employees, too. Good to know. Can you tell me if this card belonged to a guest or an employee?
No.
I thought so. Yes, thank you. Louis Hayworth is a good friend of mine. It surprises me that he's a regular here.
You wouldn't believe our clientele. You would be shocked.
No doubt. Louis, does he come here often?
Not so often.
Thank you for the vague answer, ma'am.
The mystery is thrilling. The thrill is life itself.
That was beautiful, ma'am.
Tell me, have you ever seen this list?
I have.
Am I right to assume it has something to do with the sweltering Nile?
It does, yes. But I can't tell you more about it. No.
Discretion is key.
Absolutely.
Do you know Natasha Katsenko personally?
Yes, I do.
Tell me about her.
Warm-hearted, protective, quick-tempered, fierce. Yes, fierce.
Thank you. Very useful.
This place isn't just our home with the girls. It's a sanctuary.
Really? How?
It symbolizes why the city was founded almost 1,000 years ago. Unity, love, freedom.
Interbreeding?
That too, yes. Do you have a problem with that?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't. My girlfriend's a predator.
Really? I'm glad to hear it.
Deceit is everything to Zavos. She used to be a spy, so I'm going to take her every word with a grain of salt. Who's behind the legend, Miss Zavos? Who are you, really?
Just an animal raised to survive, Mr. Featherland. And because I've been taught, I know how to survive. I always was what I had to be.
And you managed to dodge my question. Clever.
Well, you see, this is one of the typical elements of survival. The way of dodging a delicate question and still making the questioner believe he got the answer. But you're too cunning and experienced, aren't you? You're not an easy one to fool.
I'm trying to maintain appearances, ma'am.
You should. Appearances, most of the time, are stronger and more dangerous than the truth.
Tell me, were you really the king's spy?
If that's such an open secret, then I haven't been doing my job very well, isn't that right? Yes, I was a spy. But that's such a blunt way of putting it. I always say I used to undertake confidential, generally political assignments of a delicate nature for the king that were in the interests of national security.
Put that way, it sounds rather romantic.
Don't believe the cheap fiction, Mr. Featherland. Espionage is anything but romantic.
I believe you, madam.
If you must know, I only did it because I believed I could protect those that I serve. Weapons have only one use in this world: to keep the peace. Yes, I always thought about myself and my craft that way.
Thank you for your honesty, ma'am. Why did you decide to open a brothel?
You know, this place used to be an orphanage. Then after the Great Avian Plague, a hatchery. Then young mothers lived here who had nowhere else to go. That's when I took over.
Young mothers and prostitutes. That feels like a sharp turn.
No, it didn't happen like that, of course. The process took 20 years, but one thing remains the same. I wanted to help girls who had nothing and no one. To help them.
And this was the best you could do, helping them sell their bodies.
You see things very superficially, Mr. Featherland. We're a family who helped each other even at the worst of times, took care of each other, and what's most important, survived. Yes, survive, no matter the cost.
And it's the cherry on top of the most treasured secrets of the rich and famous.
Very insightful, Mr. Featherland. There's truth to that. Knowledge is power, as they say. And we know a lot about powerful animals that could be used as weapons. Or the opposite. That could avert a war.
If I guess who the card belongs to, will you tell me?
I wouldn't say that's an acceptable price for such a secret as this, but if you guess right, I won't lie to you. Then, I will tell you you were right. Yes.
Good. Let's see. The answer to my question, Natasha Katsenko.
Well, Mr. Featherland, it seems the gossip about you is right. What gave it away?
It couldn't have been easier. There's a beautiful woman with a mysterious past, trying to keep it a secret, while someone's threatening her with the exact same thing, leaving rather unmistakable messages behind. Plus, we found the card on Deborah, who was her best friend and confidant, so she was either trying to hide it or destroy it forever, so no one could find out the truth. Am I right so far?
Indeed, Mr. Featherland.
So if I'm not mistaken, Natasha used to work for you before she met Ibn Wessler. He fell in love with her, gave her a job at the Millions Club. The rest is history.
You have talent, Mr. Featherland. I'm really sorry you're not working for the government.
I am working for the government. I'm a cop.
Are you sure, Mr. Featherland?
Touché.
Indeed. Natasha used to work here. We can put it that way, but you know, this isn't just a workplace. She also lived here. She was part of our family, and we still love her very much.
Right. That puts everything in a different light. Zavos is a true survivor, always was, and she's proud of that even to this day. Maybe I can get her to trust me if I play to this part of her. You tried to protect her. From what?
Natasha came to me penniless, cold to the bone, and wounded. She was only 17 years old. Even if she were my enemy, I would have taken her in until she recovered. Yes, I'm like that. I was raised to be like that.
Haven't you seen any opportunities for profit? Or were you guided by pure animal goodness?
Is that so hard for you to believe?
I think that worldly women like you try to turn every position to their advantage. I hope I don't offend you.
On the contrary. But no. I didn't see any opportunities in a girl who could barely speak our language, who was starving and wounded and obviously running from something. In fact, I was taking unnecessary risks because of her.
You knew you were taking a risk, yet you still took her in. Why?
I don't know, Mr. Featherland. These things can't always be rationally explained. Not even when I've lived my whole life based on reason, on logic, almost every step calculated.
So Natasha came and turned your whole life upside down. She's like that, isn't she?
It's in her nature, yes. Poor thing can't help it. She's like a tornado. She usually takes everything with her.
That's quite an apt metaphor. But I have to agree.
Did she sweep you away, too?
I don't know yet, madam. I'm clinging firmly to the ground. Do you know where Natasha came from before Clawville?
Naturally. The poor dear couldn't even deny it. Even her name's eloquent, her accent, but mostly her manners, Mr. Featherland. She's from Stovos, and she belonged to the upper class of Stavonian social circles. She could barely even speak the language when I first met her.
That's all you know about her. An ex-spy like you must have checked up on her new protege's past.
That's the most exciting thing. Yes, I have. Multiple times putting my most treasured connections to good use. But nobody found anything. Natasha's trail could only be traced back to the Stavonian border. What happened in that country, no one knows.
It's rather curious, don't you think?
It is, Mr. Featherland, yes, curious. That's why I've always been rather fond of Natasha.
Did it touch you deeply when she left you?
Indeed, it did.
Zavos is protective. It seems she's dedicating her whole life to her proteges. If I concentrate on that, maybe she'll open up to me. Have you kept in touch?
Only occasionally, Mr. Featherland. She writes to me every few weeks, and very rarely we talk on the phone. But I haven't heard from her in weeks. The truth is, I've started to worry about her.
Did she give no sign of being in trouble?
Never. No. Natasha's not the kind to talk about her feelings.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself. When was the last time you saw her, Madame Zavos?
Maybe around 2 months ago. There was a ball, attended by Ibn Wessler, his beautiful mate Natasha, and myself. Yes.
Was she herself? Did you feel like she was afraid or worried about something?
On the contrary, she was unrestrained, free, radiant. She was in love. Yes, in her own unique way.
What do you mean?
You know Natasha loves on a different level than most Clawville women. Or most women in the wilderness, in fact. Maybe it's because of the Stovonian origins. Perhaps it's something else.
So you didn't notice anything strange about her?
Well, if anything could be called strange, it was that I saw a woman positively floating above the ground, who previously used to stand on it with 2 feet.
I see. Thank you, madam. How did you feel when you learned Natasha was going to leave?
Honestly, I was very hurt. I loved her as a daughter. How would you have felt?
I couldn't say.
And I still couldn't stop her, and you know why?
Of course I do. Because you loved her.
You've been in my shoes before, am I right, Detective? Yes, I can feel you have.
This isn't about me, madam. Please stop changing the subject.
I have felt betrayed on a certain level. Yes, and offended, and alone. Even amongst all my friends.
Were you disappointed in her?
Only in myself, Mr. Featherland. But I have a hunch you know this feeling very well.
Yes, you're right. Well, thank you for your time, madam.
Anytime, Detective. Yes, anytime. Please, gentlemen, wait here a moment. I would like to show you something that could help you.
Oh, that's excellent news. Thank you. We will wait.
Do you trust her?
Not in the slightest. Even her smile is fake. This woman wallowed in other animals' secrets until she became one too.
That's exactly how I feel.
Anyway, now that we're here, we can take a better look around.
Just what I was thinking.